time to plant. Well, we're replanting fiddleheads that came from another place, or ferns. I don't know which ferns are edible and which ones aren't, but these are ferns. This bed here actually has ferns in it. Ferns are tricky to plant because in the spring, because they kind of come up late around here and you don't really know when they're going to come up. In other news, the forsythia is doing fine. And it's the end of April here, so that's okay with us, that it's doing well. My shadow seems to be growing as the evening progresses. Here we have a whole bed of hyacinths, blue, pink, somewhere in between, and some white ones. We planted pink ones as well that came from the store after they were dead, so hopefully they will grow as well. A very old rose bush tree. It's been here for about, 15 years or so. The rhubarb patch is coming along nicely, I would say, actually. We threw a lot of coffee grinds in it last year and yard waste, so hopefully they will grow well this year and we will eat them all up again, as we always do. Unfortunately, we had a lot of stuff eaten off last year. Our cherry shrubs got eaten, as did some of our currants. Now these ones are fine here, red currants, but this one, the tops got eaten off of. They're both planted at the same time, so as you can see, this one has lost its top altogether. We have water. We're lucky enough to live by the water shore, so that's always nice. The apple tree is growing again, but as I mentioned, deer or other animals ate a lot of the stuff off, right down to the base last year. Here we have another, I think that's a cherry bush that's been eaten off. Here we have honeyberries. They're doing fine. They're even blooming already. And like I said, it's only the end of April, so that's good. But here we have another honeyberry, and as you can see, the top's been completely eaten off it. So we'll have to try putting something around them this year and see what develops from there. Maybe even just cardboard from paper towel wraps would help a little. We'll see. A tree peony. No tree yet or peony, but it always comes back. It's very healthy that way. And otherwise, you can see the tulips, and the iris, and the lilies, and the daffodils aren't in full swing yet. Here we have more hyacinths, more tulips, and I guess that we should let it go for right now. Well, I could show you out front, I guess. Out front we have, we had the creeping periwinkle under the tree here, and daffodils. It doesn't really die in the wintertime here. The periwinkle just kind of gets snow covered, but doesn't really die. Oh, the strawberry patch is back here. Suppose I could go in one direction at a time, but that never seems to happen for me. Life goes sideways sometimes. Black raspberry canes, more daffodils, and as we zoom in for their spotlight, we have the strawberries, which also don't really die in the wintertime here, which is good. They don't even lose their leaves. Another apple tree. Of course, we often lose most of the fruit from the strawberries to the animals, so we'll have to try and find a way to keep them covered this year to see what we can do that way. Begonias that Peter bought, more daffodils, mint, lily of the valley that's very determined to go right up through the driveway. You wouldn't think a little plant would be that strong, but it obviously is. Do not know what this tree is, so we have to decide this year if we're going to keep it or toss it, because it's in an awkward place at the end of our driveway. If anybody knows what it is, per se, feel free to let me know, because, like I said, we have to decide if we're going to keep it or not. Another big rose bush, a smaller rose bush. I actually thought the rose bushes were goners last year when they were redoing the porch, but it didn't happen. Baby kitty kitty.